Okay, picture this. It's 2006. You just got home from school, you throw your backpack on the floor, and you run, literally run, to the family computer room. You kick your little brother off the Sims because you have serious business to attend to. You log in, and there he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Tom. He's wearing that white t-shirt, looking over his shoulder, smiling like he knows something you don't, and honestly, he did. Because for a brief, shining moment in the history of the internet, Tom Anderson wasn't just your first friend, he was the king of the digital world. We aren't just talking about a website here. We are talking about the cultural operating system of the mid-2000s, before Instagram influencers, before TikTok dances, before your aunt started posting conspiracy theories on Facebook. There was MySpace. At its peak, this place was valued at $12 billion. It was bigger than Google. It was generating nearly $1 billion a year in revenue. It was unstoppable. It was the cool table in the cafeteria of the internet, and everyone, I mean everyone, was fighting for a seat. But then, silence. In what felt like the blink of an eye, the empire evaporated. 1 minute, MySpace was the center of the universe. The next, it was a digital ghost town, a punchline, a graveyard of glitter graphics and broken HTML code. In 2011, just a few years after being valued at $12 billion, MySpace was sold for $35 million. That is a value destruction of over 99%. That is not a decline, folks. That is a plane crash into the side of a mountain. So what the heck happened? The common belief, the story everyone tells, is that Facebook just came along and was better, that Mark Zuckerberg was the genius who slew the giant. But that's lazy. That's not the real story. The truth is, MySpace didn't die because of murder, it died of suicide. It's a story about corporate greed, accidental genius, a spaghetti ball of bad code, and a moral panic that convinced millions of parents that the internet was trying to kidnap their children. In this video, we are going to dig into the forensic files of the biggest fumble in tech history. We're going to look at the secret sauce that made us addicted to the top 8, the corporate villain that drained the site's soul, and the massive, agonizing missed opportunities, like the time MySpace had the chance to buy Facebook for pocket change and said nah. Stick around, because the lesson at the end of this story isn't just about business. It's about survival. If you don't cannibalize your own business, someone else will. Let's get into it. To understand how MySpace got so big, you first have to understand the void it filled. In 2003, the social internet was basically a boring cocktail party hosted by a guy named Friendster. Friendster was the pioneer, right? But it had two massive problems. One, their servers were held together by duct tape and prayers. It took like 40 seconds to load a page. And two, they were total buzzkills. Friendster banned fakesters, fake profiles for celebrities or funny concepts. They wanted real names only. They were the hallway monitors of the early web. Enter eUniverse. This wasn't some romantic garage startup in Silicon Valley. These guys were in Los Angeles, and they were marketers. They sold ringtones, diet pills, and spam. Employees Chris DeWolf and Tom Anderson looked at Friendster and thought, we can do this, but faster and way less uptight. So in August 2003, they built the first version of MySpace in, get this, 10 days. 10 days! They threw it together using a coding language called Cold Fusion because it was fast and easy. Remember that name, Cold Fusion. It's going to come back to haunt them later. They didn't have to wait for users either. They just weaponized their own email list of 20 million people from their marketing business. Boom! Instant critical mass. 1 month after launch, 1 million users. 9 months later, 5 million. They solved the cold start problem by essentially cheating. But the real magic, the absolute secret sauce that made MySpace a drug we couldn't quit, was actually a mistake. See, the developers didn't block users from injecting HTML code into their profiles. It was technically a bug, a security hole. But when teenagers realized they could paste in code to change their background color to neon pink, add glitter cursors, and hide their contact info behind a picture of a dragon, they went nuts. Instead of patching the bug, MySpace said, let them have it. This was the moment. This turned a boring profile into a digital bedroom. It was chaotic, it was ugly, and it was ours. This accidental feature created the glitter economy. You had millions of kids teaching themselves to code just so they could have a falling snow effect on their page. It gave us ownership. But the real hook, the absolute psychological weapon of mass destruction, was the top 8. Oh man, the top 8. This feature let you rank your friends on your profile for everyone to see. It was brutal. It was a friendship Hunger Games. Think about the dopamine hit. You log in, you check your crush's page. Are you in their top 8? No! Devastating! Are you number 1? Euphoria! It monetized social anxiety. It forced you to come back every single day to check your status. It created drama, it created fights, and most importantly for MySpace, it created engagement. It was the first dopamine ladder of the social web, and we climbed it like lab rats. And then there was the music. While Facebook was busy checking college IDs, MySpace was becoming the world's biggest nightclub. They let bands upload MP3s directly to their profiles. This was revolutionary. You didn't need a record label anymore. You just needed a MySpace account. The Arctic Monkeys, they became the biggest band in the UK basically because their fans shared their demos on MySpace. Lily Allen, same story. It gave the platform a cool factor that no other site had. It was where culture happened. It also gave birth to the first true influencers. We call them scene kings and queens. You know the look. Raccoon eyeliner, hair teased to the heavens, mirror selfies with a digital camera, Jeffree Star, Tila Tequila. These people became legitimate celebrities just by being good at MySpace. Tila Tequila literally leveraged her MySpace fame into an MTV reality show. That is the power this site had. It wasn't just a directory of people you knew. It was a stage for who you wanted to be. But here is where things get interesting. Because the site was so customizable, it was also a mess. Pages took forever to load because someone decided to embed 4 YouTube videos and a high-res background of a galaxy. It was crashing browsers left and right, but we didn't care. We waited. Because the reward, the social validation, the new message notification was worth the wait. So before we get to the disaster that follows, I have to ask you guys a question, and I want you to be honest in the comments. Did you ever lose a real-life friend because of the top 8? Seriously, did you get into a fight because you moved someone from number 2 to number 4? Pause the video, leave a comment, and tell me your top 8 drama story. I read all of them, and I know some of you have some tea to spill. Okay, so it's 2005, MySpace is the king of the world, and naturally, the big sharks start circling. Viacom tries to buy them, but at the last second, Rupert Murdoch's News Corporation swoops in and drops $580 million on the table. Sold. At the time, this looked like the deal of the century. But in reality, this was the beginning of the end. The cool indie club just got bought by a global media conglomerate. The culture clash was instant. MySpace was a move fast and break things startup. News Corp was a bureaucratic dinosaur. Suddenly, features that used to take days to build took months of legal review. The founders, Chris and Tom, were still there, but they were rich and disempowered. And News Corp didn't see MySpace as a community to nurture, they saw it as an ATM machine to rob. Enter the villain of our story. Not a person, but a deal. The Google deal. In 2006, MySpace signed a $900 million contract with Google to run search and ads on the site. Sounds great, right? Wrong. To hit the revenue targets Google required, MySpace had to plaster the site with ads. I'm talking in flashing banner ads, punch the monkey games, predatory mortgage offers. It was digital vomit. They sacrificed the user experience for short-term cash. The site became unusable. And remember Cold Fusion, that coding language they used to build the site in 10 days? Yeah, well, it doesn't scale well when you have 100 million users. The code was described by employees as a massive spaghetti ball mess. Instead of fixing it, News Corp ordered a massive migration to a Microsoft architecture. It was a disaster. For 2 years, 2 critical years, MySpace stopped innovating because they were too busy trying to fix their back-end plumbing. They were paralyzed. While MySpace was drowning in ads and bad code, the media decided to destroy them. The techno panic began. Dateline NBC ran To Catch a Predator, and suddenly every parent in America thought MySpace was a hunting ground for creeps. Was it true? Not really more than anywhere else, but the perception stuck. It became the unsafe place, the trashy place. And right across the street, a clean, blue, safe alternative was opening its doors. And this brings us to the most painful what if in internet history, the missed opportunity. In 2005, Mark Zuckerberg met with MySpace CEO Chris DeWolf. Zuck offered to sell Facebook to MySpace for $75 million. $75 million! DeWolf said no. He thought it was too expensive. A year later, Zuck asked for $750 million. DeWolf said no again. They thought Facebook was just a college niche. Oops. The tipping point hit in April 2008. That's when Facebook overtook MySpace in global visitors. And once the slide started, it was an avalanche. Why? Because Facebook introduced the news feed. On MySpace, you had to go hunting for content, clicking on profiles to see what was new. On Facebook, the content came to you. It was passive. It was addictive. It was clean. Sociologists even called it white flight. The perceived elites moved to the exclusive college-based Facebook, leaving MySpace to be viewed as the ghetto of the internet. MySpace panicked. They tried to redesign the site. They tried to pivot to social entertainment. They tried a logo change. But it was like rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic. The network effect had reversed. Your friends weren't there anymore, so why should you be? In 2011, the final humiliation. News Corp sold MySpace to a group including Justin Timberlake for $35 million, from $12 billion to $35 million. Justin tried to make it cool again. Remember that sleek black and white design with the horizontal scrolling? Yeah, everyone hated it. Horizontal scrolling on a desktop? Who thought that was a good idea? It was style over substance, the final nail in the coffin. And if you think it couldn't get worse, in 2019, MySpace announced that during a server migration, they accidentally deleted every piece of music uploaded before 2016. 50 million songs. Gone. A decade of internet culture wiped out because someone didn't want to pay the storage bill. It was the ultimate disrespect to the users who built the platform. So what is the lesson here? It's simple. Cannibalization, the innovator's dilemma. MySpace was terrified of changing its ad-heavy business model because it was making money right now. They refused to clean up the site, refused to simplify, refused to buy the competitor because they wanted to protect the golden goose. But in tech, if you aren't willing to eat your own business, to disrupt yourself, someone else will happily do it for you. MySpace flew too close to the sun. It taught us how to be social online, but it also taught us that no empire is too big to fail. Tom is doing fine, by the way. He's retired, traveling the world, taking photos of beaches. He got out with his cash. The rest of us, we just got stuck with the Facebook algorithm. If you enjoyed this deep dive into internet history, smash that like button. It actually helps the algorithm more than a top 8 spot. Comment below if you were Team MySpace or Team Facebook back in the day. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories about how the world works. See you in the next one.